At Fenway Park, it is muggy. It is like a summer August day. You don't expect this in New England this time of the year, but the Blue Jays are anxious to start this road trip. It's a tough road trip, and it begins in a tough spot for the Blue Jays at Fenway Park. Let's check out the lineup for John Gibbons, coming off a great homestand at 7-2. They hit .314 for that homestand, and one of the leaders of the pack was Jose Bautista. Look at his numbers against the Red Sox started this afternoon. Rick Porcello, he's got 9 hits, a home run, and 5 RBIs going up against the sinker baller. And how about Kevin Pillar, his season against the Boston Red Sox? He's hit .396 against the Boston Red Sox, 21 for 53. And he has really done a number on Boston.
Rick Porcello will get ready for his 23rd start of the season. He's had his trouble in the past versus the Blue Jays. 10 career games, 9 starts. His ERA is over 5, and he's got a losing record against the Blue Jays. But he comes into this game a pretty hot pitcher. He had a career-high 13 strikeouts in his last start. That was against the Yankees. 8 innings and 13 strikeouts. He's got that great sinker working in that last game.
Ben Revere's in the box. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is in there for a strike, and we are underway. Ben Revere has been red hot with the bat. Season average at .303. Upstairs for ball and a strike. Revere, when he first came to the Blue Jays, got off to a bit of a slow start, but since the 18th of August, he has more hits than anybody in baseball.
Yeah, look at those numbers right there. He's also scored 17 runs. He's putting together good at-bats. Not a lot of power. He's going to spray the ball all over the ballpark, but he's making solid contact.
Well, and what he has done is he's scored a lot of runs. He had 3 hits and scored 3 runs in yesterday's game over the Orioles. We told you it is hot. It is 32 degrees and high humidity. It's a summer-like day.
Supposed to expect that over the next 3 days here in Boston.
Off-speed pitch. That curveball gets Ben Revere. 1 strikeout for Porcello. Let's check out the defense for the Red Sox, and they've got a little different look than we're used to. Rusney Castillo is in left field. Mookie Betts and Jackie Bradley Jr., they're both center fielders and good ones. On the infield, it is Pablo Sandoval with 15 errors at third. Up the middle, it's Bogarts and Holt. Travis Shaw, the rookie, at first base. Behind the plate, another rookie in Blake Swihart.
And the Red Sox will welcome back one of their regulars. That's Pablo Sandoval over there at third base. He's had some back tightness problems. He left the game on September the 2nd. This is his first action since then for the Sox at third.
Josh Donaldson high and deep to left. It is up and gone. Another first inning home run for Donaldson. The 12th first inning home run of the season for Donaldson. Home run number 37. And just like that, it's 1-0 Blue Jays.
You know, when you start out on a big road trip like the Blue Jays are on, this is a huge road trip for them. You want to make a statement, and you want to make it early. Who better than Josh Donaldson? He's been doing it all season long, making those types of statements early with a big home run.
Donaldson was 1 for 13 against Porcello. That just reflects how hot he is. Jose Bautista, we mentioned he loves hitting in this ballpark.
Porcello's got that great sinker. This time it doesn't sink. That is right on the inner half. And Donaldson, who is out here today getting on his teammates, shows you why he's going to have a lot of MVP votes this season. People are going to consider him for the MVP.
A memorable home run, be it his 100th career home run here at Fenway Park. Bautista, a base hit. We told you he was hot. Bautista's aboard. Another look at this Donaldson home run.
Porcello, to be effective, he's got to be down. I was watching that last start where he had 13 strikeouts and everything was down under the knees. That time that pitch was up, and Josh Donaldson hammers it into the Green Monster for 37 home runs now this season.
22nd home run that Porcello has allowed, and that's a high number for a sinker ball pitcher. Edwin Encarnacion. Well, these two teams are the best offensive teams playing in day games. This season, they have averaged over 5.5 runs when they play day games, and it promises to be one of those kind of games here this afternoon.
How many of those have we seen in this ballpark? I mean, every out, every pitch just seems to be so important.
The Blue Jays have now homered in 6 of their 7 games here at Fenway Park this season. There's an inside strike, and that's going to be key for Porcello to throw enough strikes inside to keep the Blue Jays honest. Edwing's section, it goes on the road too.
Hey, go find that section right here with a home run.
Upstairs. Porcello spent his first 6 years with the Tigers, 76 and 63, and 180 starts for Detroit. And they brought him up early. He was 20 years old in 2009, his first big league season. I don't think the Blue Jays hitting in this ballpark are going to think about the stolen base.
Yeah, that's the last thing you want to do right there is run into outs. Maybe if it's tie game and it's late, depending on where they are in the lineup, they're not thinking about stealing bases right now. Not with big power hitters at the plate.
There's another pitch inside and up. That gets Encarnacion. That'll bring Troy Tulowitzki to the plate. He had a man aboard yesterday in the 3rd inning.
We were talking about it yesterday in the game that there are signs that Troy is starting to come out of his little slump that he has had. This is a good one right here. Looked like a changeup from Tillman. Stayed back on that one, and they lifted it up into the air for the home run. That gives him now 5 home runs for the Blue Jays.
I believe the catcher asked for time there. Tulowitzki has only faced Porcello once. He is 1 for 4. Tulowitzki finished up that ball game yesterday 1 for 5 with that 2-run home run. Two 2-0 pitch. Foul back to Tulowitzki. Had a good rip. A little bit upstairs again. And remember, Porcello's a sinker ball pitcher. He's supposed to be down in the zone.
Yeah, he has to be down, I think, to be effective. You start pitching up there to the Blue Jays, and you're going to pay for it. As a right-handed batter in this ballpark, you can't think about trying to pull the ball. I think you just have to have your natural swing. Don't try and lift that ball out of the ballpark. Next thing you know, you're going to be striking out.
Fly ball to center field. Betts is there. The inning is over. But the Blue Jays score here in the first. A quick strike offense thanks to Josh Donaldson. For Donaldson, his 37th home run gets the Blue Jays up 1-0. That's the 12th first inning home run Donaldson has hit this season. top of the order, Mookie Betts. Betts this season has really been consistent. He's right now riding a 12-game hit streak, including a season-long 14-game hit streak against the Blue Jays. David Ortiz against Burley has put up big numbers. He's got 4 home runs and 14 RBIs against the left-hander, and David Ortiz has 497 career home runs.
Mark Burley will get ready for his 27th start of the season. There are his numbers this year: 14-6, 353 earned run average. He has worked 171 innings. He last worked 7 days ago. That was against the Tigers when he won that ball game, throwing 6 innings and giving up just 1 run.
He jumps ahead of Mookie Betts with their first pitch fastball. Popped up behind home plate. Russell Martin flips the mask off, and he's got room, and he makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down for Burley. Take a look at the ball club defensively for the Blue Jays here. Ben Revere, Kevin Pillar, and Jose Bautista. This defense has really improved with the addition of Ben Revere in left field. On the infield, it's Donaldson and Tulowitzki on the left side, Goins and Smoke on the right side, and Russell Martin behind the plate. This is the best defensive alignment the Blue Jays can put on the field.
Certainly is, and one of the reasons I think that they have really taken the next step as a defensive team is because of this man right here. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. He's just engaged in everything. He is into the ball game. You can see him always talking with his teammates and figuring out where to play, and he has been awesome at shortstop this year.
This is Pablo Sandoval. Pat talked about his return to the lineup, and you notice he's batting left-handed against Mark Burley, the left-hander. He has given up switch hitting. Hits this ball up the middle. That's going to sneak past Goins into center.
You know, every time we come into Fenway Park, we know all about this sun here, and it's not just the right fielder or the center fielder. The catcher's going to have to deal with it too. Look at Russell Martin looking straight up into that sun to get that pop-up, and then has to shake his head and clear his vision after looking up into that sun.
We have seen catchers in the past wear sunglasses underneath their catcher's mask, and I remember Pudge Rodriguez is the first guy to do that, but then you have challenges of seeing the pitch, so it's just the price you have to pay on a bright sunny day. Xander Bogaerts, boy, what a year he has put together. Hitting .320 with 69 ribbies, and they have moved him into the 3rd spot. Back in June, they said, you know what, he's our most consistent hitter, so let's put him in that 3-hole.
One of the youngest players on this roster for Torey Lovullo, who's the interim manager.
Of course, John Farrell, the manager, is dealing with battling cancer, and that was announced about a month ago, and he has been at the ballpark on a regular basis, and he's going through the process of fighting cancer. So Torey Lovullo is the manager now.
He's done a good job, and you know, this isn't the circumstances where he wanted to be a manager, taking over for his friend, but he will finish out this season for the Red Sox. Torey was the bench coach for John.
Pablo Sandoval, not a base stealer, but he was a little bit late getting back to first because Burley's got that great pickoff move. 1-0 Blue Jays. Josh Donaldson with his 100th career home run in the 1st inning. Ground ball. Tulowitzki will shovel the Goins back to first. Just like that, Burley gets the double play. So the Sandoval base hit is erased on the double play. Tulowitzki and Goins handled it flawlessly. Toss to Goins, good pivot, out of the 1st. 1-0 Blue Jays at Fenway.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot. Proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Beautiful Labor Day Monday here in Boston and at Green Patch, the Boston Commons, not far away from Fenway Park. It is a summer day here and a beautiful crowd on hand. Lots of Blue Jay fans in attendance here at Fenway Park. And they have been staked to a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Josh Donaldson. This is Justin Smoke, the first baseman. And Smoke, we haven't seen him try that very often, with Bogarts the only defender at shortstop. He tried to drop down a bunt. Pretty good idea, leading off the inning.
Yeah, why not? It's a free hit. They're giving it to you. All you have to do is get it by the pitcher, just square around. And if that ball's a little bit lower, it would have been a little bit easier for him to get that ball down.
Smoke has a pair of home runs against Rick Porcello. 2 of his career hits against Porcello have left the yard. Porcello had a terrific start against the Blue Jays early on. You look back to April 29th right here at Fenway Park. He held him to 2 hits over 7 innings. Walked a batter and struck out 6. Just the 3rd time in his career he had a 7+ inning outing and allowing 2 hits or less.
There's no question he's got good stuff. He just has to make sure that he gets the ball down. That home run by Josh Donaldson for a sinker ball pitcher, that's his 22nd home run he's given up this season. That's not a good number.
No, that's too many mistakes. And you leave it out over the plate, that sinker flattens out a bit. You've got to use that sinker bottom part of the zone and lower. That's when it's most effective. Leadoff walk for Smoke.
Well, as Smoke makes his way down to first base, let's take a look at the scatter report for this afternoon starter for the Boston Red Sox. Rick Porcello, he'll use that fastball 65% of the time. You can see the miles per hour in the low 90s, but he's got good movement on it. Curveball 15% of the time. He'll mix in a slider every now and then at 11%, and that's the pitch where he gets really hit hard. The slider, they're hitting 375 against that, and a changeup, they're hitting 339 against it.
Russell Martin foul tips it into the catcher's mitt. You know, the Blue Jays as a team done a terrific job of getting that leadoff runner on base like Smoke here. I think they have confidence 1 through 9 in the order, and they will work the pitcher for those leadoff walks.
Especially the guy at the plate right here. Russell Martin does an outstanding job of working over that pitcher, getting a lot of information, especially his first time up in a ball game.
Martin, like Donaldson, hasn't fared well against Rick Porcello. He's just 1 for 11 in his career. Donaldson turned that around in his first at bat. Martin had a good act. You know, in this day and age of all the stats and all the analytics, we get so much information during the course of our preparation. Did you know that Russell Martin is hitting .444 on Labor Day?
I actually did know that because I read the same note. But before I read it, no, I had no idea.
That's the 5th best among active players. Minimum of 15 at bats. He is 12 for 27 on Labor Day. And he's a worker, that's for sure. So it's good that he gets the start here today. Two balls and 2 strikes. Blue Jays 1-0 as they bat here in the second. The appeal down to first, and Jim Reynolds said that Martin went around. Russell not happy with the call down at first base. And now the umpire is drawn back at Russell Martin. This is one thing I really don't agree with. You know, you're 110 feet away from home plate. Russell was walking back to the dugout, and he said, hey, I didn't think I swung at it. And he made a gesture at Reynolds. Well, as an umpire, you're the official. Just stand there and let him walk back to the dugout. He's not showing you up.
Yeah, at least turn your back on the player and look somewhere else. Jim was staring down Russell and didn't like the motion that he made towards him.
This is Ryan Goins, the second baseman. Ground ball. First, they're going to go to second. They get the lead runner, and Goins may have stumbled coming out of the box, and he's limping as he goes down past first base, and that's not a good sign. He got tangled up coming out of the batter's box, and he broke for first and hobbled all the way up. Take a look at Goins after this swing. And he slips out of the box, may have twisted his ankle, and then you can see he labors all the way up the first baseline.
MLB TV. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on more than 400 devices with MLB.TV Premium. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and much more. Every night on every device. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And on that device, you can find out the Orioles have a 4-1 lead on the New York Yankees, which is good news for the Jays.
They scored 4 runs in the second in New York, and Jonathan Scope hit a home run. David Ortiz, and he has really put up big numbers against the Blue Jays for his career. He pulls that one off the screen in front of the Red Sox dugout. Ortiz has 58 career home runs against the Blue Jays and 497 for his career. The 58 homers against the Jays, the most of any hitter. And Burley throws him an off-speed pitch.
Comes into this ball game on one of those home run streaks for Ortiz, where everything he seems to hit, he gets up into the air and gets it out of the ballpark.
Ortiz with 2,281 hits and 497 home runs. He's had success against Burley. He's got 4 homers and 14 ribbies against Mark.
Five home runs in his last 9 games. I mean, that's how hot he has been.
Sounds like Chris Davis. There's a liner that's going to get down and bounce out of play. It's a ground rule double for Ortiz. He pulled it down into that pesky pull corner and bounced it out of play for a leadoff ground rule double. Double number 29 for Ortiz.
You know, this would have been interesting if this ball stays in play. Ortiz has been having some leg problems, some calf problems. He actually had to come out of the ball game, and if that ball stayed in play, I think Jose Bautista had a chance to maybe hold him to a single. You can see he's laboring trying to get down that first baseline. Legs bothering him, but he will coast into second base with that ground rule double.
This is the first baseman, rookie Travis Shaw. Shaw made his major league debut back in May against the Blue Jays. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to get through. Ortiz really laboring on the bases, and he stops at third. Boy, that's a note you have to put down in your book if you're the Blue Jays. He can't run.
Came out of a game with an Achilles problem. He also came out of a game with a calf problem. So you can tell he's not running very well.
So let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. If you're the Blue Jays now and you get a ground ball, you're still going to take two, I would assume, early in the game. But you got to keep your eye on David Ortiz.
If there's a ground ball right now,
you're liable to step on the bag at second and still get a play at the plate. If he is running as poorly as we just saw, as infielders, you got to communicate that to one another. Say, hey, we might be able to get him on a ground ball,
and that's
and still get two.
What they need to talk about. I'd also walk him all the time and let him clog up the bases if he can't run like that.
Rusney Castillo early misses inside. Ball on a strike to Castillo. Bottom of the second inning. Castillo called up on the 27th of July from AAA Pawtucket. Way outside. But obviously, we're going to keep our eye on Mark Buehrle. He is pitching on 7 days rest because, as John Gibbons characterized Buehrle's situation, he says Buehrle's barking a little bit, which means he's got general soreness.
Yeah, beat up just a little bit also this time of the year. But you know Mark Buehrle, he's going to take that ball and he's going to give you everything he can. And he's going to try and figure out a way to beat you.
This is the 27th start for Buehrle. He has now pitched 172 innings. Foul off. Buehrle still got enough to get that fastball inside. And you know, velocity is not an issue with Buehrle, and I know his velocity dropped a bit in August, but he still throws it at 85, and it's more about location and movement than anything else.
Changing speeds and hitting your spots, I think, is key for him.
Good job by Mark, smothering that ball in the dirt. Full count. Travis Shaw at first. Ortiz at third. We mentioned Ortiz can't run. Got a bad calf. Fly ball. Now Bautista's got to make note of it. Pilar calls. He's got the stronger arm, and they got a shot, and he throws it right in the middle of nowhere. That allows Shaw to advance. He stumbles around second, but Pilar called Bautista off and then made a bad throw. We don't see him make many bad throws.
You know, I think it all had to do with the angle. I thought Jose Bautista had a better angle than Pilar. Bautista was rounding into that ball and getting his momentum behind it. Pilar's got to come a long way, and watch when he catches it, he is still moving towards the foul line. He's got to turn all the way around and then try and make that throw home. And it's not even close. You can see he's still moving. Look how far he had to go over, and there's Jose standing behind him. I think Jose's angle was better, and that would have been the play, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you, and Ortiz comes in to score. This is Brock Holt.
You know, one other thing is that throw was so far offline. Travis Shaw, the runner at first base, was able to tag and go up in the scoring position.
Yeah, it was literally halfway between third and home, and he moves up on the throw. There's no air involved. Brock Holt batting with one out. This is a veteran lineup here in Boston, and they will spread the word to the rookies. Hey, don't chase those borderline pitches from Burley. He's going to try to get you to swing at him. And Burley has the ability to make the adjustments. He'll start off 4 inches off the plate. If you don't swing, he'll bring it in another couple of inches.
Yeah, he has had success here at Fenway Park, I think, by attacking the strike zone and not pitching around hitters.
There's a fly ball. Ben Revere over to his left. He makes the catch. 2 outs. Let's check it with Jamie Campbell. The Orioles are in New York, obviously, for their 3-game series, and the Blue Jays will follow the Orioles into New York. This is Blake Swihart, the catcher. He goes after the first pitch and pulls it foul. That's the borderline pitch we're talking about. If you swing at that, Burley's going to throw it there all afternoon.
Yeah, all afternoon. I didn't mean to insinuate that he was nibbling, but he is aggressive. His games that he has had success here at Fenway Park, he's been aggressive, especially early in the count, and then expand the strike zone.
Swihart is a switch hitting catcher. He's batting right-handed, of course, against Burley. Burley is making his 6th start as a Blue Jay here at Fenway Park. He's won his last 3 ball games. That's on the ground. Tulowitzki has it across the diamond in time, and Burley is out of the inning. But the Red Sox get a leadoff double from David Ortiz. He scores on the sac fly. We'll go to the 3rd. It's a 1-1 game.
Day countdown to the last home game. Share your passion with hashtag 22 Days Blue Jays and let the celebration begin. Well, Buck, you can see in the crowd here at Fenway, a lot of Jays passion is definitely on display.
Well, it sure is. A lot of fans from the Maritimes have made their way down here. We get a chance to say hello to a lot of the fans, and they tell us where they're from Newfoundland, New Brunswick, from Quebec, and all over the eastern provinces, and they make their way down here to Fenway Park over the Labor Day weekend. This is Kevin Pillar, the center fielder, leading off the 3rd. Mentioned Pillar this season against the Red Sox. 21 hits in 53 at-bats. Takes it inside. That's the .396 average. Pillar was 1 for 3 yesterday with a walk. He homered and scored a pair of runs. Foul ball.
It's an interesting thing, a baseball season, the ebbs and flows and the ups and downs, and it looks like Kevin Pillar is on one of those upward movements now. This is a home run yesterday deep to left field as he joins 6 other Blue Jays who have hit at least 10 home runs this season. That's a nice looking swing.
This one's going to reach the seats down the right side. You know, when you think about this season and how the Blue Jays have had their ups and downs, and Devin Travis was the player of the month in April. Pillar came on in June. Encarnacion had his great month in August. Everybody has had their turn at carrying this offense, and Pillar is now starting to pick it up a bit here in September.
Your core guys are going to do their thing, and the Blue Jays have had that happen this year. They're big guys, but you have to have contributions from everybody.
Ripped and gloved by Sandoval off the short hop. Pillar hit it right on the nose.
Sandoval back in the lineup at third base for the first time since the second, and the Panda catches that screamer, sets himself and throws a strike over the first base, taking a base hit away from Kevin Pillar.
Pillar hit it hard, but right to the third baseman. Back to the top of the order, Ben Revere. Sandoval's guarding against the bunt. We haven't seen Revere drop down a lot of bunts for base hits, but he did pick up a bunt for a base hit yesterday. Although it was a sacrifice bunt that just kind of spun back on the pitcher, and he was able to reach first base. This is bounced to Shaw at first. 2 up, 2 down quickly here in the third.
Yeah, courtesy of the turf yesterday on that bunt. He got himself a base hit. Porcello is looking like he is starting to find that release point.
Well, he'll get a real test now. He's got Josh Donaldson at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Donaldson went deep his first time up. His 100th career home run. Terrific milestone for Josh. Hits this one high and deep to right. Jackie Bradley Jr.'s got it measured. In front of the Blue Jays bullpen. 3 up, 3 down quickly for Rick Porcello.
Presented by the all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Bit of a shot of Boston and the Boston Harbor in the background. Gorgeous afternoon here at Fenway Park. Jackie Bradley Jr. and he is smoking hot. Jumps on the first pitch from Mark Burley hustled it back in quickly. It's over the head of Goins, but Burley's right there to back him up. Jackie Bradley Jr., boy, since he's come back from the minor leagues, nobody swinging the bat better than Jackie Bradley Jr.
Jumping on that first pitch. Early in the year, it looked like he was trying to pull everything. Now that one, he went right the other way with it. He's hitting over 400 over his last 24 games.
That extends his personal hit streak to 8 straight games. That's a career high. He is 12 for 23 in those 8 games, back to the top of the order. And this is Mookie Betts. That ball gets away from Martin, and Jackie Bradley Jr., he had an opportunity to advance. Martin dropped it when he went to pick it up, but Bradley had already shut it down at first.
Burley had really froze him on that first pitch towards home plate. He wasn't real sure what he was going to do, and his momentum was actually going back to first base when that ball was missed by Martin. He didn't have a good jump, so he shut it down.
Mookie Betts extended his hit streak to 12 straight on Sunday. The Red Sox swept the Phillies in their 3-game series. He's got a 14-game hit streak against the Blue Jays. Goes all the way back to last September, and now it's 15 games. 2 on, nobody out in the third. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie, that's going to be a terrific series. It's John Neese against Max Scherzer today. And then how about the pitching matchup tomorrow? Matt Harvey and Jordan Zimmerman. And then on Wednesday, it's DeGrom and Strasburg. I mean, you talk about a 3-game series that features pitching. Sandoval drops down a bunt. Burley fields it, throws the first in time. Sandoval advancing the 2 runners. Doing a nice job. Burley's a terrific fielder. He made a nice play of it.
He has always been a good fielder, and he pounced on that thing quickly. Watch this. Recognizes that Sandoval's bunting, calls off Josh Donaldson, and then spins and throws a strike over to first base. To get Sandoval, the guy's going to give up an out. You got to be able to take it and make that play.
So the Blue Jays are going to play the infield back with Bogaerts at the plate and 1 out. Bradley Jr. is at third. Mookie Betts at second. 2 of their best base runners. Bogaerts grounded into a double play his first time up.
Like what the Red Sox have done here over the last month or so, going with their young players. Told you that Bogaerts is a young player. He's only 22 years old. He won't be 23 until October the 1st. And he is putting together a nice season. He's driven in 69 runs.
He's got a 7-game hit streak. You talk about 22 years old, and they trust him to the point where they put him in this 3rd spot in the lineup. He's hit .367 with runners in scoring position.
Very simple approach, uses the whole field, really trying to hit that ball back through the middle here.
That's why he's late on that inside pitch. One and 2, Burley ahead of Bogaerts. Ground ball. That'll get the Red Sox a run. Bogaerts picks up an RBI with a ground out to short. Betts comes in to score. The Sox have a 2-1 lead. RBI number 70 for the Red Sox young shortstop.
Just a good piece of hitting. It's plate coverage. He's able to handle all the pitches that Mark Burley was going to dish out in that at-bat. Just keep the ball in the middle of the diamond and get yourself an RBI.
2 outs. David Ortiz doubled and scored in the second. Fly ball deep to left, up and off the wall. Betts comes in to score. They got a shot at Ortiz. Tulowitzki with the tag, not in time. David Ortiz. It's one high off the green monster in the left. He's got a couple of doubles.
Blue Jays are going to want to take a look at this play at second base just to make sure that Ortiz is safe route. This is his second double if it stands today. He hit one down the right field line his first time up and then hits this ball off the top of the green monster. Revere does a good job positioning himself, turning, and making a strong throw. And the high tag looked like Ortiz is going to be safe at second base.
This is Travis Shaw. The Red Sox now with a 3-1 lead, and they've touched Mark Burley for 6 hits already. Shaw has one of those hits. Aaron Loop is loosening up in the Blue Jays bullpen here in the third. There's a liner to center. Pilar is right there. The inning is over, but Boston has taken a 3-1 lead. RBIs by Bogarts and Ortiz. Blue Jays in the top of the fourth. He singled in his first at bat in the first inning, and it just reflects how hot he has been since the 1st of August.
300 average with 12 home runs in just 32 games. Jose was talking about that the other day. He's not a free swinger. He's just a good hitter. He leads the American League in walks. He's had more walks, 88, than strikeouts, 86 this year. And the team is 25-7 in those last 32 games. He's just having good at-bats. Good at-bats at the plate. He's not going to chase pitches off the plate, and he's going to make you come to him.
Boy, he was looking for that fastball. He turned on it and pops it a mile high into the seats behind the Blue Jays dugout. He's a very smart hitter. He will think about who he's facing. He'll do his homework, study the video, look at past history, but then he'll put up a game plan during the course of a game, and he'll look for pitches. That big bending breaking ball. When Porcello first came up with the Tigers, he was a hard sinker ball or curveball pitcher. And now he's added a couple of new wrinkles. He'll throw a few more four-seam fastballs up in the zone. He'll cut the ball, a little change up from time to time.
But he still needs to use that sinker. He's always had one of the best ground ball percentages in the American League, especially when he was with Detroit.
Bautista waves at that breaking ball. 4 strikeouts for Porcello.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Beautiful shot of Fenway Park. That gives you the unusual dimensions here as the short left field fence with the green monster there, and then all sorts of room in center and right. And when Encarnacion struck out his first time up. One and one to Edwin. Home run cut. Porcello's 91-92 so far with that fastball. Working with a rookie catcher, Blake Swihart. Swihart catching his 63rd game this season. They lost Christian Vasquez way back in spring training to Tommy John surgery. He came up and did a great job with him last year.
Yeah, and they were really counting on him this year. That was a big blow to this team, I thought, in spring training. Losing their starting catcher.
Ground ball. Bogarts waits at it. Short. Lost in time. 2 down. Rick Porcello in his first season with the Boston Red Sox, and you can see maybe because he was in his first season he didn't really get comfortable at the break. His ERA almost 6, but boy, since then he's turned it around.
Look at those numbers. He's only allowed 5 home runs since the break, a 279 earned run average. Since 2003 he just seems to get better after the break. His ERA 3.5.
Right over our head, fouled back.
Since 2003 at the All-Star break. So as everybody else gets tired, it seems like Porcello gets a little bit stronger.
We mentioned he's just 26 years old. He won't turn 27 until just after Christmas. That was Carl Willis, who has taken over as the pitching coach here. Another foul back. Troy Tulowitzki flied out to center field his first time up. This is just the 4th time Tulowitzki has played here at Fenway Park. You remember coming into Fenway Park for the first time, how you felt at the plate looking at that green monster?
I had to learn to hit here as a right-handed hitter, because you were standing at home plate. It looked like it was right behind shortstop. So you start to open up that front shoulder. You're trying to lift the ball out of the ballpark, and didn't have a lot of success here till I figured out that, you got to get on the plate just a little bit more. I think look for the ball out over the plate and just react to the ball inside.
Yeah, you start thinking about hooking it up into that green monster seat area, and you're going to have a lot of trouble.
That's why I think over the years, the best hitters have been the left-handed hitters that have played for the Red Sox here. Ted Williams and Wade Boggs and Fred Lynn and on Carl Yastrzemski and all the great ones, because they could pull the ball, but they could also inside out a ball and just hit it off the wall.
Yeah, Boggs was probably the best at playing ping pong off that left field wall. Mike Greenwell's another guy that had a lot of success here. Left-handed hitter. Porcello wanted it. He was headed to the dugout.
I think David Ortiz's 2 at-bats today show you how lefties have the advantage here. He hooks a ball to right field. They try to pitch him away, and he just flicks the ball off the wall in left field. It's another great left-handed batter that the Red Sox have had here over the years.
3-2 pitch. Tulowitzki lines out to the third baseman. Porcello has given up a couple of hot shots to third, but Sandoval has bailed him out.
everything Blue Jays. Don't miss a pitch with our in-depth live game tracker, plus the latest news, videos, and interviews on Canada's team. Download the new Sportsnet app today. Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry. And you can bet there's a lot of Blue Jay fans here that have that Sportsnet app so they can keep track of their favorite team. There's a gentleman that was conflicted. He had a Blue Jays shirt on and a Buffalo Bills hat on. But it is the NFL season. It all starts Thursday night. Mark Burley, he's given up 3 runs on 6 hits through 3 innings. Here's Nick Castillo, picked up a sac fly in the second. Castillo, young Cuban player, the the Red Sox signed him for a contract over $70 million. This one is down toward the pesky pole and just barely foul. Boy, that's one you really got to stick with. You can see how close that pesky pole is. It's only about 290 feet down to that pesky pole. And then the fence shoots straight out. Torey Lovello is going to go down and ask the umpire to have a look at this one.
They might take a look at this one. You can wrap it right around that pole. Let's see. Does it disappear behind it? That looks like it's out of sight. You can see it right through the blue and then reappear. So it looks like they're going to take a look at this one.
Fielding Colbert is at a third base. He's the crew chief on this 4-man umpiring crew. He'll be joined by Jim Reynolds, the first base umpire, who made the call on that long drive. He called it a foul ball. So now they're reviewing the call on the field. Torey Lovello wants to have a look at that potential home run ball. But it's always tough down there in that corner. That pesky pole is right in line with the fence.
One more time. This one goes right up against it. You can see the shadow.
Look how close that shadow is. And boy, that's going to be a tough one. If it hits it, obviously, it didn't deflect. So it maintained its course without being deflected by that foul pole. So you would think that it's a foul ball.
If they change it, they're going to have to find some kind of evidence that shows that that thing scraped that pole, hit it.
I think one of these days there's going to be an electronic wire to the foul poles where contact makes the light goes off.
Not a bad idea.
It's a simple thing, you know. Anything that hits it. Of course, you'd have to keep the fans away from it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. A fan could be down there smashing against that pole and lighting it up if you do that. That one looked like it just, it didn't deflect, like you said. It didn't change course, change direction. The call on the field was foul ball.
You saw Castillo. We mentioned he's signed. He's 28 years old. He has played in Cuba for several seasons. He played winter ball in 2014 in Puerto Rico, played 10 games down in Puerto Rico. This year, AAA Pawtucket, he had 282 in 40 games, had 3 home runs and 17 RBIs.
He is a raw talent. He's got the measurables, if you will, as a baseball player. He can run, he can throw, he's got some power. Now he has to just gain some experience to bring it all together, but he's got a lot of talent.
They have a professional league in Cuba, obviously. It's the National League, and he played there as a youngster. First full-time experience came in 2010 when he was 22 years old. He hit .324 with 18 home runs and 79 RBIs. Of course, it's very difficult to compare talent when you're playing in Cuba. It's not obviously not what we call organized baseball. The umpires now have a decision, and it's a foul ball. Fielding Cobra holds up his hands, indicating the play on the field will stand.
Got to take a shot when it can get you a run.
So now it's an 0-2 count on Castillo. It's a weak grounder. Donaldson cuts in front of Tulowitzki, throws on the run, and not in time. Castillo legs it out. an infield hit.
And that's what I mean about raw talent. That was just raw speed by Castillo that time. Blue Jays did everything correct here defensively. Donaldson cuts across, gets the ball, makes the throw across the diamond, but Castillo just too fast, just outran the baseball.
Donaldson couldn't get much on the throw. He gets a nice scoop from Smoke, but it's too late. Hit number 7 for Boston. Bullpen going to get going again. Looks like Aaron Loop will grab his glove and start throwing again. These games can get out of hand very quickly here at Fenway Park. We have seen that in the past, and Blue Jays know that. They can put up crooked numbers.
And John Gibbons knows that, and he knows he's got to stop the bleeding. And if he doesn't feel like Mark Burley has his best stuff, he's got to go to the bullpen early.
Brock Holt with a single to center, hit number 8.
What you can't do is let a 3-1 lead become a 6-run lead and then a 8-1 lead. You got to stop it right here and then give your offense a chance. And he's going to send out the pitching coach first to talk to Burley.
The Blue Jays have played some lopsided games. They were here in June, the last time they were here at Fenway Park. On June 12th, they won 13-10. They won a normal game. On the 13th, they won 5-4. And then they had a 13-5 game in game 3. So you know that you're going to score a lot of runs here. Both teams are. Blue Jays in that final appearance back in June had a 6-run 4th, a 4-run 5th, and a 3-run 7th. The Red Sox had a 5-run 5th. So multiple run innings are commonplace here at Fenway Park.
And those are all the numbers that John Gibbons is thinking about right here as he watches his starting pitcher. If he feels he doesn't have it, he's going to make some changes. Can't afford to wait around.
Blake Swihart, he bunts right out in front of home. Burley will go to first and almost threw it away. Goins does a good job of taking that wide throw. Swihart with the sac bunt. The Red Sox dropped down 2 sacrifice bunts already in this game, and we're just in the 4th inning.
Burley gets on top of it. No chance to get that runner at third base. Goins, you see, plants that left foot on the base and gives him a nice angle to throw to. Caught the ball and then held his ground just a little bit longer to make sure that he was on that base.
Number 9 hitter Jackie Bradley Jr. He singled on the first pitch he saw. That led off the 3rd inning. Red Sox would score 2 that inning. Bradley Jr. and Mookie Betts both coming around to score. Blue Jays play their infield back. Boy, Blue Jays had a pickoff play on. You see, Donaldson had made his break toward the bag at third. The ball was fouled off, and he and Martin had put a pickoff play on.
We have seen it all year. This guy is in the ball game. And they had a chance to get Castillo if that ball wasn't fouled off.
Donaldson always goes through that series of signs, and there's some little subtle look, some little subtle touch. That's what will put the pickoff play on. None of these signs probably mean much. Puts his glove on, probably shake his glove, and that'll be the sign.
Yeah.
Something simple. Burley gets Bradley to swing. Now it's a 3-2 count. Mookie Betts, he's 1 for 2. There's a line drive base hit to right. Bautista will play it on the hop. Castillo comes in to score. Jackie Bradley Jr. is 2 for 2.
He remains hot. Told you over 400 over his last 24 games, and that base hit is going to send John Gibbons out to the mound.
Well, the Red Sox, they have Burley's number here this afternoon. Mark Burley will leave this ball game here in the 4th inning. Bullpen on early. Aaron Luke first out for the Blue Jays.
$99 a month. Modem or purchase is required. Ask about our other plans that deliver the fastest internet speeds to most Canadians. Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 today. Buck.
Thank you, Barry Davis. And the Blue Jays are into their bullpen here in the 4th. Burley goes 3 1/3. That's the shortest outing of the season for Mark. And now it's up to the bullpen to put a cork in it right here.
Yeah, and stop the bleeding right here. Aaron Luke will come on for his 2nd game since being recalled on the 4th from the minor leagues. There's his numbers in 49 games this year.
Ground ball off the glove of Donaldson. Looks like that had a chance to be a double play ball. Donaldson got a piece of it, but it was a hot shot, bounced off his glove, and another run comes in.
Everything would have had to be perfect to get Mookie Betts, who can really run. First of all, he hit the ball hard on a hop or two right to the 3rd baseman. If Donaldson comes up with it cleanly and then makes a good throw, they might have had a chance. But it's off the glove. Backed up by Tulowitzki. And the Blue Jays give up another run. It's got to be a base hit.
I would think so. Hit to the glove side. Hot shot. It is a base hit. Mookie Betts is 2 for 3. RBI for Betts, his 67. That hits Sandoval, and he'll go to first, and that'll load the bases. Luke trying to come inside on Sandoval. He got hit near his hands, and he's being attended to now. And that got a lot of meat. You could hear it.
The hitters get ready to swing the bat. They really expose those hands when they can't turn away, recognizing that pitch, and a pitch that was up and in right there. The hands are exposed and they get hit. And John Gibbons is going to be out now. One more time, watch. He's trying to open up the swing. He can't get the hands out of the way. It looked like it got him right in the left wrist. And that will load the bases. The hands exposed, can't turn away from it. And Sandoval's going to take first base.
So Luke faces 2 batters. He gives up a single and hits Sandoval. He'll give way to the bullpen. Ryan Tepera, the right-hander, to face Bogarts with the bases loaded. Jay pitcher to work today. Aaron Luke faced 2 batters, didn't record an out, give up a hit a batter. TOR last pitched on Friday in the Baltimore series. Had a good outing. He threw 13 pitches in his inning of work. So he'll face Xander Bogaerts with the bases loaded. 5-1 Red Sox. 1 out. Bogaerts has not hit a grand slam. Blue Jays would prefer a ground ball. Fly ball to right. Bautista, he's coming in. Bradley Jr. now going back to tag, and he was very late going back to tag. Bautista makes the catch. Bradley Jr. didn't immediately react. He thought maybe that would drop, I guess. But if he had gone back to tag, he might have had an opportunity to score.
He played it halfway at the beginning. He was shuffling his feet and off the bag. And then realized that Bautista was going to get there. By the time he went back to tag, he was not going to score. So a big out for the Blue Jays.
So now David Ortiz, he's already 2 for 2, a pair of doubles. He's scored 1 and knocked in 1. Down and in. Ortiz has 11 career grand slams. Blue Jays need to close out this inning and strand these 3 base runners. There's a strike. Ground ball. Goins is out in right field, and TOR gets out of it. He gets a fly ball and a ground out. The Red Sox leave the bases loaded. They have a 5-1 lead as we head to the 5th. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
It's Tournament 12 presented by New Era and Roberto Alomar. It goes September 14th through the 18th at Rogers Center. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com/T12. And today we say hello to a few members of Ontario Green: Adam Hall, Cooper Davis, Luke Van Reckenheim, Matt Jones, and Sam Turcotte. Of course, Dalton Pompey's brother Tristan, also a former member of the Tournament 12, and he's now been drafted. So it's a good start for young Canadian players, Buck.
Well, it sure is a great opportunity, and good for Roberto Alomar to put his name on it. That gives it an instant credibility for sure, and gives the young players in Canada an opportunity to showcase their skills in front of a lot of college coaches. Justin Smoak takes the first pitch strike. Smoak walked to start to second, but he was erased on a double play. The Red Sox now shift Sandoval over to the second base position. Bogaerts goes back to shortstop. There's a drive down toward the pesky pole. Bradley Jr. is there. This one is gone. Justin Smoak homers his second home run here at Fenway Park this season, and this game is a long way from being decided.
Yeah, it's just the fifth inning, and with the power that the Blue Jays have, I don't think they're out of any ball game. Smoak, he's right on top of that plate against Porcello, looking for something in and for something up. And he got that, and he just wraps it around that pole down the right field line for his 14th home run.
That's the 9th home run the Blue Jays have hit here at Fenway Park this season. This is their 7th game. Russell Martin struck out his first time up.
One more time. Look at how he is right on top of that plate, almost daring Porcello to get that ball in there. Doesn't hit it squarely. He just hits it in a good spot right down that line. How about those numbers against the Red Sox? A couple of home runs and 4 RBIs.
Two and two to Martin.
This is always a beautiful shot right here. You can see it got in on Justin just a little bit, but he hit it in the right spot, right down that line. I don't even think it's 300 feet down the right field line here.
It's very handy, that's for sure, and it's not far away, and he snuck it around that pole. You know, you talk about, we talk about it all the time, and people wonder, well, what's the pesky pole? And it's the right field foul pole named after Johnny Pesky, the second baseman that played here for so long. He had a knack for hitting balls down there. Bogaerts makes a nice play on the ground ball up the middle. One out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you very much, Jamie. I think the biggest thing was he got his work in. I'm not too concerned about the numbers. This is the final day of the season in AAA. And Pat, you know what it's like for players on the last day of the season.
They are hacking and slashing and, you know, wanting to get that season over with.
Yeah, the biggest thing is he's healthy, he comes out of it, it feels good tomorrow, and I think he's going to line up perfectly for that next start.
And that looks like it might be on Saturday. We'll see.
Ryan Goins grounded into a double play, slipped coming out of the batter's box, and they've tweaked his ankle a bit. Need a team of horses to get any of these Blue Jays out of the line at this time of the year.
Yeah, especially a player like Ryan Goins, who's been fighting to get in there his whole young career, and you finally get your chance to play every day. You got to do a little bit more than just slip on the turf to come out of this ball game.
Things are going to get interesting for the hitters here in about another 15-20 minutes as that shadow of the grandstand is going to creep across home plate as the sun starts to go down in the west. There's a ball drilled to center. Mookie Betts gets a good break on it and makes the catch. Let's go right back to Jamie Campbell. There is a lot of baseball left, and there are the standings here on the scoreboard on the Green Monster. The Yankees are a game and a half behind the Blue Jays. Just really can't worry about the Yankees till you start playing them. And that will start on Thursday. And we talk about teams that are out of it, boy, they are dangerous.
Yeah.
They want to knock you off. Of course, the Red Sox have a terrible season this year, and they don't want anybody to have a good series against them.
Well, the game is never easy to play. It's a tough game to play, but it's easier when you don't have the pressure of trying to win ball games. If you are out of it, if you do it, great. If you don't, no big deal. If you, on the other side of that, if you're the player that has the bullseye on the back that everybody's trying to beat you, that's when the pressure gets a little bit tougher.
For many of these Blue Jay players, going into Yankee Stadium in September in a pennant race will be a first-time experience. And I can remember going in there in the playoffs in '76, and it's a different atmosphere. It's just totally different. And it's not the playoffs, of course, but it is a series that has playoff implications. And a lot of these guys are getting their first taste of a pennant race. They have handled it well to this point, but you never know how you're going to react until it's a done deal.
Yeah, and you'll have that playoff atmosphere when you get there. But first things first, this is a big series here.
Boy, is it ever. 5-2 Boston. Pilar reaches and pokes it into right. Jackie Bradley Jr. over to cut it off. He gets it back in there quickly, and Kevin Pilar picks up his 22nd hit of the season against Boston, a 2-out single. Back to the top of the order, Ben Revere for so far. Revere takes one downstairs, and you can see Porcello really patient. They've only caught 4 of 18 base stealers with Porcello on the mound, and Kevin Pilar can run. He's got 18 bags so far this season. Not running here. Porcello unloaded in a hurry that time.
Well, he's got that going for him. He's very quick to the plate, and looks like he wants to pick up the pace just a little bit. He was very deliberate before. Now he seems very fast. He wants to get the ball and go.
Yeah, you can see he's concerned about Pilar in this situation. It is a good time for the Blue Jays to take a gamble here. 5th inning with Revere to plate. We mentioned Revere has the most hits in the majors coming into this game since August 18th. '28 hits, one more than Adam Eaton. Altuve has 26 from that period. Miguel Cabrera and Brandon Phillips both tied with 25 hits. So Revere among the hottest hitters since the middle of August. Hits this one in the air, and Mookie Betts is over, makes the catch. The Blue Jays get a run back. Justin Smoke with his 14th home run of the season has made it a 5-2 Boston lead. action in New York. Orioles and Blue Jays. We drove all the way from Nova Scotia. Go Jays. I mentioned a lot of people from the Maritimes out here at Fenway Park. Travis Shaw, 1 for 2, the big first baseman facing Ryan Tepera. Tepera, he did a good job. Came in the game with the bases loaded and 1 out, bailed out Aaron Loop. Got a fly ball off the bat of Xander Bogaerts and got Ortiz to ground out.
Yeah, bases loaded and just 1 out, and probably their best hitter in Bogaerts. Got him a short fly ball to right field. Runners couldn't advance, and then they got Ortiz, their hottest hitter. Well, now he needs to throw up another 0.
Tepera had allowed 4 of the previous 6 inherited base runners to score. This time he strands the bases loaded. Chances are these two faced each other in AAA. Shaw was a Pawtucket and Tepera's been at Buffalo. Way outside. The Blue Jays bullpen is relatively fresh, and certainly the addition of September call-ups helps that cause. Shaw strikes out.
All-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Labor Day Monday in Boston. Good crowd on hand. A good slider from Tepera to Castillo. Castillo is 1 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the second, had a single, and scored in the fourth. Okay, slider inside, and he was able to catch the inside corner. Castillo was fooled by that pitch as he broke back.
Ryan will cut the ball with a fastball and a slider. He can also throw a split changeup. He had a good year with Buffalo this season, pitching in for the Bisons. 21 outings, and they only hit 138 against them down in the minor leagues. He also came up for the Blue Jays and pitched out of that bullpen in a long relief this season.
Ground ball to Tulowitzki, plants and fires in time. Nice scoop at first by Smoke. One of the few times Tulowitzki will anchor himself. He knew he had to get a little extra on that throw to get Castillo.
Well, he saw him run the last time. It was Castillo hit a ground ball to Josh Donaldson and beat it out his last time up. And you're right, Tulowitzki will go to the backhand and then plant that right foot and then come over the top with his throws. Plenty of arm. Yeah, Smoke picks it for the second out here in the fifth inning.
Brock Holt, the second baseman. Perez fires and strikes that last pitch at 96.
I think that's what you have to do against the Red Sox. You got to jump ahead there. That fastball was right down the middle, and Brock Holt took it all away, so now he finds himself in a hole.
Ground ball, Goins at second. Good job by Tepera. He has faced all five and retired them. Now it's up to the hitters to get back in this game. Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Josh Donaldson is having an MVP type of season, and he does it again in the first inning. This is the 12th time that he has hit a home run in the first inning. Got the Blue Jays a run very early. It's also the 37th time that he has been able to show off his home run trot. Josh Donaldson with the home run in the first inning is our drive of the game.
Josh Donaldson hit that home run off Porcello. It was his 100th career home run. Donaldson has 38 doubles and 37 home runs, and for good measure throws in a triple. Look out. Porcello busted him up and in. Donaldson has scored 106 and now driven in 115. Little base hit to right. Good way to start the inning. Leadoff single for Donaldson, and that'll bring Jose Bautista to the plate. He's 1 for 2, but boy, does he love hitting at Fenway Park.
Yeah, and this is where you want to get him up with runners on base. Visiting home runs at Fenway Park since 2008. It's Jose Bautista with 21 of them since that season, followed by Longoria, Teixeira, Encarnacion, and Adam Jones. Jose, well, he is built, I think, for this ballpark. He can lift the ball if he needs to. Same thing with Edwin Encarnacion. Lift the ball and get it out here in left field. Always, excuse me, Buck, always seems to be good for at least one home run a series here, doesn't it?
He has hit 21 home runs in 53 games prior to this one today. Pretty good ratio. Fouls that one straight back. He was thinking about a home run there. We mentioned that Bautista, his at-bat per home run ratio is the best in baseball coming here to Fenway Park. 9.5 at-bats. Every 9.5 at-bats he hits a home run. When you think of Bautista's numbers against other teams, he has hit 34 home runs against the Red Sox for his career. That's the most he has hit against any one team. Then, of course, the other teams in the AL East, they fall in line right behind Boston, but he's got 34 against the Red Sox. He's also had a lot of success hitting home runs during day games. He has 103 home runs in day games compared to 176 in night games.
Think about the pitchers, too. I mean, the Red Sox have had some pretty good teams here.
Well, he gets out in front and pops that up. An off-speed pitch. Sandoval coming down from third, and Bautista pops out. Porcello took something off and had Bautista off balance. Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin has gone 0 for 2 so far. Edwin has been hot, obviously, coming off that 26-game hit streak. That's the longest hit streak of the season. This is a little tapper. That's a fair ball in trouble. Sandoval is not going to have a play. So that little dribbler up the third baseline goes for a base. He had 2 hits in the inning now, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate.
The long and the short of it, you know, you gotta play and respect Encarnacion, his ability to hit the ball hard at you. So you're going to play deep as a third baseman. You can't cover everything. Encarnacion can't roll the ball out there any better than that. It's going to stay fair, and he's going to be at first base with an infield hit. 37 straight games now that he has reached base for the Blue Jays.
Blue Jay fans trying to rally their troops. Tulowitzki with a liner right to second, and Donaldson's going to be doubled off. Tulowitzki has lined out twice this afternoon. That one turns into a double play to end the 6th.
rookies have their annual initiation. In years past, we've seen Blue Jay rookies dressed in Hooters uniforms. Well, this year it's a little something different, as all the rookies have received teddy bears. They carried them with them on the flights yesterday. A lot of them have them strapped to the front of their scooters in the Blue Jays clubhouse. And the man responsible for it all, of course, is the veteran on the Blue Jays, so Troy Hawkins, who made sure all the rookies received them. And unlike the Rookie of the Year qualifications, to receive one of these bears, all you have to have is come into this season without a full year in the majors. So that's why guys like Ryan Goins and Kevin Pillar will be carrying around these little teddy bears. And but Pat, they love it. They have no problems at all. They're having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, we saw them all last night with their teddy bears, and they have to pack them wherever they go. And if they don't have it, somebody sees them, and then they can be fined for that. But I like that. That's much better than all that other nonsense of dressing up and everything else.
I asked one of them this morning, one of the players, I said, can you take it, put it in a backpack and carry the backpack? And they said, no.
It has to be visible.
Yeah, it has to be visible. So the one player wanted to go out and get one of those baby harnesses, and they're going to wear that around Boston here.
And a line drive, Blake Swihart reaches first. That's the first runner to reach against Tepera. He had retired 5 straight since coming into the game. It's a big inning for the Blue Jays. Put up a 0 here in the 6th and stay away from the meat of the order. Jackie Bradley Jr. is 2 for 2 already this afternoon. Jackie Bradley Jr. has had his ups and downs with the Red Sox, but he's currently hitting .302. 7 homers and 33 RBIs. And Pat, to me, that's the biggest improvement. Is he's hit 6 home runs in his last 24 games coming into this game this afternoon.
He was an out first couple of years in the big leagues, and it's taken him a while to figure it out, slow this ball game down just a little bit. He had great numbers in the minor leagues, and he had that great spring a couple of years ago, made the team, but he was an out. You could find holes all over his swing, but he's starting to cover those up.
This is drilled toward the green monster and up over the wall. Jackie Bradley Jr., a 2-run home run here in the 6th. His 8th home run of the season.
Told you he's been a hot hitter, over 400, yes, in the last 24 games. But that's going to be that home run right there. That's his 23rd extra base hit in the last 25 ball games. Singled his first time up, singled his second time up, and there's a pitch that used to get him out, up and away. He'd swing right through it. Now he's going to take that ball the other way. And he's got plenty of power as he puts it in the first row over the monster.
Mookie Betts, he's 2 for 3. Red Sox have some good-looking young players. Betts and Bradley, of course, and then their shortstop, Bogarts, their young catcher, Blake Swihart. They've got some young, talented position players.
And they're finally starting to use them here. They've really valued their young players. And so has a lot of the organizations. And like the Yankees were not going to trade their young talent to get some veterans to help them down the stretch as Liam Hendricks gets up to start throw. The Red Sox said, you know what, we're not going to part with any of our young players either. In fact, they let some of their veterans go so these youngsters can play.
Betts fights it off. Hits it out of play. The Red Sox with a 7-2 lead. Down ball, Tulowitzki backhands, throws quickly to first, not in time. Mookie Betts legs it out, his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
And his 2nd infield hit. That's the 3rd infield hit for the Red Sox this afternoon. I mean, he can really run. He's got a lot of talent. Came into this game hitting over 280 with 13 home runs and 66 RBI. So you've got some power and production. You also have some speed. Look at this. Right across the bag before that ball gets into the glove of Smoke. Another hit for Mookie Betts.
3 hits for Betts. 3 hits for Bradley Jr. in the 9th spot. Pablo Sandoval pops it up. Tulowitzki out into left field, waves that he has it, and he does. Sandoval's retired on 1 pitch. John Gibbons has come out of the Blue Jays dugout. He has made the call to the bullpen, and he's going to bring in a new pitcher. Chapera got Bogaerts to fly out the last time he faced him with the bases loaded and 1 out, but this time it'll be Liam Hendricks facing Bogaerts.
It is official team shop for your Toronto Blue Jays, bringing together the largest selection of Blue Jays products anywhere. Visit us online at jshop.ca, and it looks as though a lot of folks here at Fenway Park today have done just that and visited JShop, Buck.
Well, they sure have. A lot of Blue Jay fans, and we see their T-shirts, jerseys, hats, all displayed very prominently here at Fenway Park. New pitcher in the games, Liam Hendricks. Hendricks pitched on Sunday through 9 pitches in an inning of work. He's done a great job pitching out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that was just yesterday. 1, 2, 3 inning, 3 fly ball outs, and he would probably be used here this afternoon just to get through this inning right here. He needs 2/3 of an inning. But he's going to have to face the 2 best hitters, I think, for the Boston Red Sox.
We mentioned Bogaerts flied out to Batista in the 4th with the bases loaded and 1 out. He's late on that fastball. It's one of the reasons the Red Sox always play long games, because the scores here at Fenway Park go back and forth so often. A lot of pitching changes.
Lots of pitching changes and a lot of balls, pop-ups that would be caught because there's not a lot of room.
There's a ball that's going to get down and go up against the wall. Betts is flying around third. He is going to score as Ender Bogaerts picks up another RBI, his 2nd of the afternoon. His 28th double bangs off the green monster in left center.
He is just a good-looking hitter, and I think when he fills out, he's going to be a little bit more powerful. You're going to see the home runs go up. He only has 5 this year, but this is going to be a 2nd RBI of the afternoon. A line drive high off the wall in left field. And with Mookie Betts hitting in front of you and on base, he's going to score every time on an extra base hit.
8-2 Boston. Still one out. David Ortiz has a pair of doubles this afternoon. He's 2 for 3. '97 blew it right past Ortiz. So the book is closed on Tepera. He goes 2 innings, allows 3 runs. 3 runs on 3 hits charged to Ryan Tepera. One out. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Ortiz, lots of fans here in New England. His last home run was his 200th home run here at Fenway Park.
Just the 4th player to do that in Red Sox history.
Hendricks took something off and strikes out Ortiz. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Michael Pedane is out of the game. Justin Wilson, the left-hander, is in the game. Wei-Yin Chin started for Baltimore. He too is out of the game. Jorge Rondon is in. The Yankees probably don't have Dellin Betances available today. He threw 30 pitches yesterday. Andrew Miller has pitched in 2 of the last 3 games. The fly ball to center. Pilar has it measured, makes the catch. Travis Shaw is retired to end the inning, but the Red Sox put up a 3 spot in their half of the 6th. Will go to the 7th. Boston has an 8-2 lead over the Blue Jays. Not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Rick Porcello staked to a comfortable lead here as he's set to start the top half of the 7th inning. Blue Jays led it 1-0. Josh Donaldson hit the home run in the first with 1 out. But it's been all Red Sox since.
He's only made basically 2 mistakes, I think, this afternoon. The home run to Donaldson, then the home run to Smoke. Other than that, he has been able to shut down the Blue Jays.
Porcello misses with the first pitch to Smoke. Smoke hit his 14th home run. His last time up, he has walked and homered. Blue Jays have just 6 hits, coming off a 9-game homestand that they hit .314 as a team. It's interesting how the Red Sox defend against Smoke. Sandoval starts on the third base side of the infield. Then after 1 strike, he moves to second. They put Bogaerts back to first. 1 strike doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I understand 2 strikes is not going to bunt.
We will have to find that information out just to see if we can understand the logic.
We'll get our best men on that. 2-1 to Smoke. Now it's an even count. Smoke's home run off of Porcello was his his third career home run off Porcello. He is now 3 home runs in 5 hits, and that one's off the plate. He gets another walk. He's been on base all 3 times.
The all-new 2016 Honda Pilot, proud partner and official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Catcher Russell Martin at the plate. Ground ball. Bogaerts to second for 1. Holt bobbled it, but he's got plenty of time. Martin grounds into a double play. That's the 3rd double play the Blue Jays have hit into this afternoon.
They'll get those runners on, but they just have not been able to get them out. We've seen a 3-6-1 double play, a 4 unassisted double play. Now this is the conventional 6-4-3. It hits so hard. Even the little bobble around second base by Holt is not going to stop them from turning that double play. Russell Martin throwing the batting gloves back on for this at bat, but he's going to come up with another ground down.
Second baseman Ryan Goins grounded into one of those double plays. Porcello is really pitching with a lot of confidence. You can see he's coming off his best start all season when he had 13 strikeouts against the Yankees.
His last 2 starts, Buck, in fact, since he came off the disabled list, have been outstanding coming into this game. 15 innings and 1 earned run.
Total of 10 hits, 1 walk, and 18 strikeouts in those 2 starts.
He's also pitching like he's got a 6-run lead, like he does. Here's my fastball. Let's see you hit your way on.
Goins bounces it. Foul ball. Here, Jim Reynolds, the first base umpire, with the emphatic foul ball. Blue Jays for the season are 4-2 here at Fenway Park. 7-6 for the season. Seven and 6 against the Red Sox in their season series. Boston will come to Rogers Center one more time. It'll be on the final homestand of the season. Boston, New York, Tampa Bay. Final 9 games. Foul ball. Goins got a piece of it, stays alive.
Those are no layups, if you will. If I can give you a basketball term right there, Buck. Those 3 teams you just talked about.
Now, it's interesting. 26 games left after this game today. The Blue Jays have a 1.5 lead over the New York Yankees. The thing that I find very interesting is the Blue Jays have a chance to catch the Kansas City Royals for the best record in the American League. If you'd have told me that 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have believed it, but now they're only 4 games behind the Kansas City Royals.
Royals with 82 wins, Blue Jays with 78. Players aren't thinking about that. They're just thinking about what they can do to win today's ball game.
Owens out in front, pulls it on the ground. Holt waits for the first baseman to get back on the bag, and he does. A leadoff walk, a double play, and a ground out. Porcello is through 7.
Play of the Year contest gives you an opportunity to vote for your favorite play of the 2015 season. One lucky winner will receive 2 tickets and a chance to throw out the ceremonial first pitch on Saturday, September 26th as the Blue Jays take on the Tampa Bay Rays. It includes trip, airfare, and hotel included. Contest closes Monday, September 14th. See BlueJays.com for more details. And as you can see, the Blue Jays have had more than their share of great plays in the field. We've even seen some over the last few days, courtesy of guys like Troy Tulowitzki and Ben Revere. The Blue Jays continue to make some incredible plays defensively.
Even David Price on that hot shot liner back to the mound, he gloved it and a big smile when he made the play. Josh Donaldson's made terrific plays defensively all season long, as has Ryan Goins. That's an interesting contest and a great prize, the ability to throw out the first pitch at Rogers Center.
Hope you're paying attention all season long, because there's been some great plays by the Blue Jays. Does a catcher get a great play if he makes a good throw?
It depends on the situation.
I think Russell Martin, he has thrown out some great base stealers. I think we got to put him in that category.
Yeah, he has made some throws that were totally improbable. Guy gets a great jump at first. He unloads quickly, making an accurate throw. He's had a very good season defensively. This is his best season of his career, percentage-wise, of throwing out base runners. Rizny Castillo, it's his 4th plate appearance. He has a sac fly, an infield hit, and has grounded out. Russell Martin, boy, he's taken a couple of tough shots this inning. Manny Gonzalez, the umpire, is going to walk the ball out to the mound to give Russell Martin a little extra time.
Get it on the shoulder. Foul ball. Yeah, right off the collarbone.
The modern day catcher's equipment is pretty protective. See, they've got the flaps over the shoulders, the point of the shoulders, but right up there around your neck, obviously you can't have too much restriction there, and it hits that exposed collarbone. Changeup is tapped foul.
Russell keeps shaking that arm to try and get some feeling in that arm after taking that football. He's hurt.
Yeah, he sure is hurt. Bounced off home plate. Donaldson will barehanded and throw. Not in time. I didn't think he had a chance to make a play. The only possibility was to barehand it, and I have never seen a third baseman who can make as many very barehanded grabs as Donaldson.
Thought we were going to see another one of those plays of the year right here. High off the home plate. Then Donaldson with that bare hand makes this thing really close. You can see why the Red Sox spent a lot of money on Castillo, because he could run. Donaldson knows that. Throws a seed over to first base, but it's just late.
Castillo's had 2 infield hits this afternoon.
4 infield hits for the Red Sox today.
15 hits for Boston, just 6 for the Blue Jays. Red Sox have an 8-2 lead. Everybody in the Red Sox lineup has a base hit. This is where it becomes challenging for hitters at home plate. The shadows of the grandstands have cut across home plate, and now the batter is in the shade and the pitcher's out there in the bright sun, and that ball hits that shade and it disappears.
Yeah, you might think it's a breaking ball. You see the spin and it'll actually disappear right in front of home plate. You might see a lot of swings and misses. You might see a lot of check swings from here on to the end of the ball game.
The contrast is very dramatic, and your eyes are trying to pick up that high 90s fastball from Hendricks. Lefty Jeff Francis starts to loosen up. Mark Burley went 3 1/3, charged with 5 earned runs on 9 hits. Aaron Loop, Ryan Tepera, now Liam Hendricks out of the bullpen. Fly ball left center. Pilar on the run. He will get there, makes the catch, gets the ball back in quickly. Castillo has to hustle back to first.
Looked like Kevin Pilar had a chance to run right through that one, but then elects to slide and pick it up and then get that ball back in quickly. He has made some great catches this year. And every day, you watch Kevin Pilar every single day, he gets more confident in his ability as an outfielder.
He really works off the hitter. He'll watch the pitcher and how they're attacking a hitter. He'll make adjustments in the course of an at-bat.
He was telling me the other day that he can actually look in from center field and see the catcher's signs, just like a middle infielder, and then play off of that pitch. Said, man, you must have some pretty good eyes to be able to see that far.
Tell you what, if he can see him today, he's really doing something. Looking into the shaded part of the field. He's a long way away out there in center field. What he will do when he has that information is he will cheat toward that side. If it's a off-speed pitch to a left-handed hitter like Swihart, he will think about the possibility of that ball being hit to his left.
Yeah, and he'll take a step, or he'll anticipate, or he'll start leaning that way. That's why he can get such good jumps on baseballs.
That's a good pitch. Called strike 3. Swihart is down. 2 outs. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Fifth home run of the season for Greg Bird, and there's another rookie the Yankees have held on to. And since Teixeira's been on the DL, he's playing a lot of first base and coming up with big hits. We will see the Yankees and Bird on Thursday night. Blue Jays don't want to see any more of this guy.
No, they've had enough of him. He and Mookie Betts, 6 hits between the 2 young players.
They are 6 for 7 so far this afternoon. They've hit 5 singles, and Bradley hit a 2-run home run his last time up into the green monster seats in deep left center. Off-speed pitch that gets away from Martin, and Castillo hustles into second. The wild pitch charged to Liam Hendricks. Jamie Campbell's been keeping his eye on Baltimore, New York for us. The New York Mets are in Washington taking on the Nationals. That's for the battle of first place in the National League East. They are tied 5-5 in the 7th inning. The Nationals trail the Mets by 4, but they've won 5 straight, and they're closing ground on New York. Deep drive to right. Bautista on the run. He's not going to get it. 4 hits for Jackie Bradley Jr. This a ground rule double. He looks like a different player.
Cuts his swing down with 2 strikes. We told you how tough it is up around home plate with those shadows, but that doesn't seem to bother Jackie Bradley Jr. right now. Cuts that swing down with 2 strikes, and he's able to power the ball down the right field line. That's another extra base hit. It's now 24. Head straight down. He doesn't overswing. Goes down and gets it. He's got some pop in that bat and drives in another run.
13 doubles now for Jackie Bradley Jr. A 2-out double here in the 7th. It's 9-2 Boston. $16 hits for the Red Sox.
7 for 8 now. Bradley. They have Mookie Betts. 7 for 8. They have also scored 4 runs.
Russell Martin.
Same spot.
Wow. It's like he's got a target on that shoulder.
There's Josh Tolle. He senses what's happening right here. This is the same spot it looks like he got earlier. Yeah, right on that collarbone.
Fly ball deep center field. Pilar on the edge of the warning track will make the catch. The inning is over. The Red Sox had a run in the bottom of the 7th. They've taken a 9-2 lead as we head to the 8th.
Jays, and it's where you can vote for today's play of the game. You can do that today and every day after the Blue Jays, only on sportsnet.ca. And Buck, maybe the play of the day has not happened yet. Of course, I've been reminded that earlier this year the Blue Jays trailed 8-1 here at Fenway Park and had a 9-run inning to come back and win, so you never know, especially here at Fenway.
Well, you sure don't know the outcome, and obviously the Blue Jays had that 9-run inning earlier. They had a 6-run inning, they had a 5-run inning. You can put up crooked numbers here all day long. It doesn't matter where you are in the lineup. It'll be Kevin Pillar, Ben Revere, and Josh Donaldson for the Blue Jays. 9-1-2 in their lineup. Pillar bounces it up the middle. Holt makes a play behind second. Nice play by Brock Holt. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. That's a great rivalry, and certainly the addition of Cespedes has really helped the Mets offensively, as had the return of David Wright back to third base. Cespedes, since August 5th, has hit 12 home runs, and it was an offensively challenged New York Mets team, and they certainly got an infusion of power.
They needed to do something, the Mets, to get some offense to match up with that great pitching, and I think they've done that. They also got Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe.
That's a foul ball.
Cespedes was with this team, the Boston Red Sox, last year.
They went to Detroit and hasn't settled. He's moved all around the place, and now he has found a home, at least for the short term, with the Mets.
And it cost him, this guy right here. This is the player that the Boston Red Sox acquired for Yoenis Cespedes, a young right-hander, Rick Porcello, and he's putting up his 3rd straight solid outing.
Dave Dombrowski, of course, is the new president of the Boston Red Sox, president of baseball operations. He left the Tigers and landed on his feet right here in Boston, and he's one of the bright minds of baseball. He's been in a long time, got started as a very young man. Montreal, Florida, White Sox, Detroit, and now Boston. Ben Revere will drop one in front of Jackie Bradley Jr. His first hit of the afternoon.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY expert sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
Third baseman Josh Donaldson, 2 more hits this afternoon, and another drive to left. Get up, but it's off the wall. Played perfectly by Castillo. Donaldson hits a shot off the green monster, his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Wow. First on the swing and then on the throw from Castillo. This ball looked like it was going to go out, but it just doesn't get up high enough off that big wall. Then Castillo, we saw his legs, his speed. Now we see his arm as he holds him to a single. And that hit is going to bring Torey Lovullo to the mound.
Rick Porcello gets a nice hand from the home crowd. He leaves here in the 8th with 1 out, 2 aboard. Right-hander Noe Ramirez comes in to work with 2 on, and Jose Bautista coming to the plate. New pitcher in the game in relief of Rick Porcello is Noe Ramirez, making his 6th appearance.
This is also his 3rd stint with the ball club this season. Made his major league debut back in June. Since his recall, he has faced 3 batters. Buck, and he has struck out all 3 of them. He's got a good arm.
Jose Bautista makes the first pitch strike. Bautista singled in his first at bat. It's the first time the Blue Jays have faced Ramirez. That gets away from the catcher. The runners will move up. Hey, it's never over at Fenway till you're having your second sandwich in the clubhouse.
That's right. And I think everybody who's ever played the game here knows all about that. That one right through the webbing of Blake Swihart, the catcher.
Anybody that's played here in the past recognizes that you do not relax or let your guard down until the final out of the ninth. That's a pass ball charge to the catcher. Bautista drills it high and deep to left. It is off the wall. Both runners are going to score. Josh Donaldson read it perfectly. Hey, you never know. Donaldson got a great break from second. He knew it was going to go off the wall, so he never hesitated. He scores for Bautista. Jose now has 96 RBIs.
Just keep that line moving. If you're the Blue Jays, you've got a huge deficit to overcome, so just keep putting up base hits. Donaldson is at second base, the perfect place to read that ball. You can see the trajectory off the bat, where it's going to hit off that wall so he can score without a throw. Jose has his second hit of the afternoon.
Encarnacion Edwin was 1 for 3 and an infield hit, a little swinging bunt up the third baseline back in the 6th. A battle of the fans has developed here at Fenway Park. That ball was ripped into the boxes above the first deck here at Fenway Park. One and two to Encarnacion. 2 runs in here in the 8th. Two and two now. Ground ball. Sandoval goes to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. The Blue Jays have hit into 4 double plays, and that has kept them from getting back in this game. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
And post-game interviews. Catch Blue Jays Rewind, presented by Booster Juice, part of the morning highlights on Sportsnet 360. Look, that is a wonderful picture of you out in the crowd.
Never saw that one before. Got a big hit.
I'm glad you said it, not me.
Those your tickets there?
Yeah.
You left some passes today.
Yeah, there should be 30 or 40 more of those around the ballpark here today. Me and Mooney hanging out. In the bottom of the 8th inning, it's 9-2 Boston. New pitcher into the game is Jeff Francis, the left-hander. Blue Jays have gone 4 deep into their bullpen in game 1 of this series.
And there are the numbers for Francis in 9 games this year. 1-2, 623 earned run average. It's a good spot for him. He's going to be facing some left-handed batters. And I think the last 3-4 weeks of the season, this is going to be important that the Blue Jays find another left-hander out of that bullpen in these tight situations when you're back in the American League East. Think about all the great left-handed hitters that they're going to have to face.
Yeah, you've got Ellsbury, Gardner, McCann in New York, and you want to neutralize those bats, especially in the Bronx. So I think Francis is going to have a prominent role down the stretch here. He's got Sandoval. He's all tied up in knots here at home plate.
You got David Ortiz. Ortiz is in the hole here after Bogarts.
Obviously, the number one left-hander is Brett Cecil.
Yes.
He's pitched terrific, but the ability to have two and make the opponents hesitate. Sandoval has to reach for that one. Donaldson makes a nice play of it. So you talk about the possibility of seeing some tough lefties, and not only do you have Ortiz here, you got Holt in the lineup today, Travis Shaw, but then you're going to go to New York for the 4-game series, and you got Ellsbury, Gardner, and then Brian McCann right at the top of the order. And you got to make sure you Greg Bird, the first baseman, the rookie first baseman, his 5th home run. So I think Francis is going to be prominent, and this is a good opportunity for the ball club to get another look at Jeff Francis here.
What if you need him in the 6th inning to get that last out of an inning and put a rally, squash a rally? This might be the guy. He's a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He's not going to get hyped up.
No, he won't get rattled going into the Bronx. He pitched on Friday, had a good inning. Aaron Loop came into the game today and didn't have a good outing. He gave up a base hit and hit a batter, the only 2 batters he faced. Alexio Gando. He's warming up. Their closer is on the disabled list. He's out for the season. Bogart hits it right back to Francis. 2 outs. So now here is one of those tests we were talking about. Lefty on lefty. Francis will face David Ortiz. Ortiz, another good day at the plate, 2 for 4, pair of doubles. And you're right, in this series, say Ortiz is up with a couple of board early in the ball game, and you bring him in, Francis, in the 5th, 6th inning. And then when his turn comes around the next time, you've got Cecil for him.
John Gibbons has said all along that, hey, we've got some guys from the right side in that bullpen who have good numbers against lefties, but there's nothing like a veteran like a Jeff Francis with that big breaking ball, just to give those hitters a little something different to look at, something different to think about.
Well, Ortiz has hit .216 against lefty pitching this year. Just 6 of his 31 home runs against the lefties. It's really interesting. Ortiz has gotten closer to the plate. He stands right on top of the plate, and that is an imposing visual for a pitcher. You don't see too many spots where you can fit the ball into that strike zone. Watch how he steps in the box. He's right on top of home plate.
Yeah, his hands are basically over the inside part of the plate.
Inside, ball 4. So Ortiz will work Francis for the 2-out walk. So Ortiz will leave in favor of the pinch runner. Devin Marrero will take over defensively, or excuse me, as a pinch runner at first. So Marrero running for Ortiz. Travis Shaw, the first baseman, 1 for 4 this afternoon. High deep drive to right. Bautista backs up at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Travis Shaw with his 8th home run into the bullpen in right field.
You know, we've talked about some of the young players. We mentioned Bradley and Betts and Bogarts. Let's don't forget about Travis Shaw, son of a former major leaguer, Jeff Shaw. He is coming in. He's getting some playing time now, and he's going to unload that hanging breaking ball from Jeff Francis. Out of here. Bautista fighting the sun, the field, and the ball. It's just out of his reach.
11-4 now for Boston. Rusney Castillo grounds it to third. Donaldson will throw on the run. The inning is over, but Boston gets 2 more in the bottom of the 8th. They've scored in all but 2 innings this afternoon and have an 11-4 lead as we head to the 9th.
Tickets, well, they're pretty much sold out, but you can get an Acura luxury suite. It's a great way to join the big leagues. You can have your business meeting and enjoy a ball game at the same time. Account executives will find the package that best suits your needs. Go to BlueJays.com/luxury suites for more details. I have a feeling that there's probably a lot more baseball watching than business being conducted this time of year, Buck.
I think you're right. There's going to be some great excitement the next time the Blue Jays are home. This is a new pitcher. The relief pitcher on is Alexio Gando. He's had a good year for Boston.
Nice little signing, I think, by the Red Sox. They've got him into 55 games this year, 2-0 at 365 earned run average. He's got a good arm. Trying to finish off this one. A couple of other defensive changes for the Blue Jays. That is Jeff Rutledge at second base, taking over for Brock Holt, who slides over to third base. And if you're keeping score at home, Pablo Sandoval is out of the ball game. Pencil Rutledge in his spot.
Troy Tulowitzki, he doesn't have much to show for it, but he's hit the ball hard all afternoon. Lined out to the third baseman in the 4th and lined into a double play in the 6th. I got it. 11-4 in favor of the Red Sox. We'll be right back at it tomorrow night. Henry Owens, the left-hander, will be facing R.A. Dickey, who's been great. Dickey's won his last 7 decisions. Dickey has evened his record at 10-10.
And after today's ball game, they're going to need a big one. Big outing for RA tomorrow night.
RA had a complete game win over the Cleveland Indians. He threw just 92 pitches. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 6. And that was a big win for the Blue Jays. Really gave that bullpen a break. And he's made some very positive adjustments. He's in line a little bit better. Used his fastball a lot against the Indians. And I bet you he does the same thing against Boston tomorrow night. High pop up into shallow center. Mookie Betts coming in. 1 down. Well, coming up after this ball game, it'll be Tim and Sid. Let's check in with them right now. Tim and Sid, what you got going on? Thank you very much. That's following this ball game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Justin Smoak's had a perfect day at the plate. 2 walks and a homer. They've gone to the 9th in New York. The Yankees now have an 8-6 lead as Baltimore has scored a run in the top of the 9th. 2 outs. Andrew Miller into the game again. Alex Rodriguez, Greg Bird, J.R. Murphy with home runs for the Yankees. Manny Machado and Jonathan Scope have homered for the Orioles. Three and 0 to Smoke. Takes one right down the middle.
What an afternoon for Justin Smoke. He's been on base all 3 times. Home run and a couple of walks. Blue Jays down to their last 2 outs.
That's foul ball. 3 and 2. Chris Davis single to center with 2 outs in New York to make it an 8-6 game, and it's just gone finally. Yankees win that ball game 8-6. Strike 3 call, and Smoke knew it. Breaking ball gets him.
Gondo's been throwing the ball a little bit better of late. Last 16 appearances, 12 have been scoreless. That shows you why. Not fair to throw a 3-2 breaking ball with a 7-run lead in the 9th inning. Tough pitch.
Russell Martin's had a tough afternoon. 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a double play. And a small bucket of balls off the chest protector. Boy, he took a beating this afternoon.
In that 1 inning, he got him a couple of times.
National League Central's got an interesting race going on. Cardinals, Pittsburgh, and Chicago. Chicago has 78 wins, and they're in 3rd place. Cardinals have 87 wins. The Pirates have 81 wins, and then the Cubs have 78 wins.
Cubbies are hot. They're putting the wood to the St. Louis Cardinals today.
Cubs have won 3 in a row, and they're leading the Cardinals 8-0 in the 5th inning in St. Louis. High fly ball to right. This should do it. Jackie Bradley Jr. moves to his right. That's the ball game. So the Red Sox win game 1 of this 3-game series, and they put one on the Blue Jays 11-4. They out-hit the Jays 7